Hello student, I am Assistant Professor Yeshwan Bora from LJ School of Law and today we'll be discussing about the provisions of CRPC. Okay, CRPC, that is popularly known as Criminal Procedure Code, and it is very important procedural code in the criminal or for the criminal trials, and the procedures which have been mentioned into or in the CRPC is been followed, it has to be followed by the courts and by the other authorities to like if they don't follow the procedures mentioned in the code, then it will not be like they have to face the consequences. So now move further, and now we'll be starting with the definition clause, and the definition, first definition which is mentioned in the CRPC is section 2 subclause A, which talks about the bailable offense. Now what is the bailable offense? The offense which is shown bailable in the first schedule or which is made bailable by any other law will be termed as a bailable offense. Now, if you have your Bail Act for CRPC, you must be having Bail Act with you. Then only you will be able to understand the CRPC. Otherwise, it will be very tough for you to understand the provisions of CRPC. If you'll see the CRPC after when the sections get over, after that you will be seeing the schedule, forms and schedules. Okay, so if you see the schedule 1, it talks about the offenses. Okay, what kind of offenses, like whether the offense is bailable or not, whether the offenses is non-bailable, whether the offense is cognizable or non-cognizable, and by what court it is tried. So it has been mentioned in the that first schedule that these particular offenses will be the bailable offenses which are mentioned in the first schedule. Okay, so generally the offenses which are less serious, or which you can say uh, which are having less impact, those offenses will be can be calculated in the bailable offenses. Again, uh, to substantiate this, any offenses other than IPC or offenses which are punishable uh, with less than 3 years of imprisonment, then in that case that offense will be termed as a bailable offense. Now bailable doesn't mean that the person, if like it is a matter of right that he'll get bail. Okay, either magistrate will either police will grant him or either magistrate will grant him. Generally people say that if the offense is like, they have that presumptions that if the offense is not bailable, then the person can will not be able to get the bail. But it's not like that. If the offense is not bailable or if the offense is non bailable, then in that case police is not having power to give the accused bail, but the accused can ask for the bail in the court of law by filing the bail application. Okay, now moving further, you see our next definition is non-bailable offense. As we were discussing earlier, that offenses which are not bailable will be termed as a non-bailable offense. Now offenses which are again a serious in nature, okay, will be termed as the non-bailable offense, such as murder, extortion, theft, abetment to murder, attempt to murder. All these offenses will be termed as a non-believable offenses. And to substantiate the offenses which are having more punishment for more than 3 years, then in that case the offense is not bailable offenses. Now moving further, uh, as I said earlier, that bail does not, it like it is no bail, non-bailable offense does not mean that the person will not get bail. It means that it is the discretion of the judge to grant him bail or not. If judge satisfied or convinced that yes, bail should be granted to the accused, then it is discretion to grant him bail. Otherwise, he'll not be able to get the bail. Now moving further, the offenses, cognizable offenses. Now again, as I said, you must be having a Bail Act with you, so you can see that what are the offences which are bailable offences and what are the offences which are not bailable, non-bailable offences, and what are the offences which are cognizable offences. Okay, so in section 2 subclause C, the word cognizable offence has been defined. It says that an offense for which a police officer may arrest and investigate a person without a warrant will be termed as a cognizable offenses. Okay. Now all the offenses like which are of serious in nature, okay, then in that particular offenses the police can investigate or police can arrest the person without the warrant. Okay. Now these offenses, cognizable offenses, is again mentioned in the schedule 1 of CRPC. Okay, so you have to check the schedule 1, you have to be thorough with the schedule 1, otherwise you won't be able to get the offenses and the types of offenses. Okay. Now it has been said that, as we all know, that crime is a act against the public at large. Therefore it is the responsibility for of the state to bring the offender toward the public, okay, or to bring the offender towards before the court, right? So that is the reason that particular uh, state is in, like, that is the reason state is performing, always performing the part, the role, its active role in the cases, in the criminal cases. Now moving further, you see that examples such as section 122, section 304, section 304A, 304B, that is dowry death, murder, attempt to suicide, sorry, abetment to suicide, all these sections are termed as the serious in nature, and in all these sections the person, sorry, the police officer may arrest the person without any warrant. Okay. Now moving further, you see that again cognizable offenses are those offenses, it can be termed like these are those offenses in which the imprisonment which is given to the accused is more than 3 years. If the offense is having the punishment for more than 3 years, then that particular offense can be termed as a cognizable offenses, otherwise it will not be termed as a cognizable offense. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So now moving further, again, yes, though in general serious offences are cognizable, some minor offences such as unlawful assembly are also made cognizable because of their grave consequences that might ensue or that might occur. As we all have studied the unlawful assembly under section 141 of IPC, and that unlawful assembly has been termed, though its punishment is less than 3 years, but still it has been termed as a cognizable offense. Why? Because there are chances that in that case the person or the unlawful assembly can take a bigger picture, or you can say a bigger role in the uh, that particular area. That is the reason the unlawful assembly has been uh, included or has been taken as a cognizable offense. Now, moving further to the definition of non-cognizable offense, Section 2, subclause L talks about the non-cognizable offenses. Offenses in which the police cannot arrest without a warrant, not cannot investigate without the authority of the magistrate, will be termed as like these are the uh, directions which are given to the police, that in the case of non-cognizable offenses the police cannot arrest the person without the warrant, and at the same time the police cannot investigate without the authority given to him by the magistrate. As you must have heard about the search warrant, you must have heard about the arrest warrant, that police at, like get it from the judges or the magistrate. You must have seen in the movies that police get the arrest warrant, that arrest warrant लेके आए हैं आप हम आपका and आपको arrest करना है. Okay. So again these types of offenses are mentioned under mentioned in schedule 1 of the CRPC. So you have to check schedule 1 of the CRPC. So offenses mentioned under schedule 1, you have to refer schedule 1 to see the offenses, whether it is cognizable offense, whether it is non-cognizable offense, whether it is bailable offense, or whether it is non-bailable offense. You have to mention schedule 1, and again in schedule 1 you have to mention whether by what court that particular offense is triable. Okay. Now moving further, you'll see that these particular non-cognizable offenses are considered to be the less serious offenses, and again their nature is more of than not like it's more of the private nature, and therefore uh, these offenses as like therefore these offenses in these offenses the police have to go with the warrant, like and it cannot enter to the premises of the accused, or it cannot enter to investigate in the premises of the accused without any warrant. So you see that these non-cognizable offenses are more private in nature, and therefore the collection of evidences and the prosecution of the offender are left to the initiative and effort of the private citizens. Now again, these particular offenses are less serious offense, uh, but there are some offenses like forgery, uh, which is also considered in the which is also included in the definition of non-cognizable offenses. So I suppose that you must have got the definitions of bailable offenses, non-bailable offenses, cognizable offenses, and non-cognizable offenses, which is very important to uh, for the study point of view, and again to understand the uh, further provisions of CRPC. And again, I'll suggest that go through Schedule 1 first and see whether what offenses are triable by which court, and again whether the offenses is cognizable or non-cognizable, or whether it is bailable or non-bailable. So I'll rest my lecture here, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you in next lecture. Thank you.